Hi everybody, Dr. Mike here. In this video, I'm going to teach you about blood types and blood transfusions. Now the first thing we need to talk about is red blood cells. I've drawn up a couple of red blood cells up here. They're extremely important because they carry oxygen and carbon dioxide around our body, delivering oxygen to our tissues and taking that carbon dioxide away. So they're really important for shuttling gases in our blood. But the thing is this, our red blood cells have proteins on them, covering their surfaces, and these proteins are like little flags. These little flags tell the body that this red blood cell belongs to you. That's what they say. And these little flags are called antigens. So little proteins on the surfaces of our red blood cells are called antigens, and we use them to signify that they belong to the body. Now, another thing that the body does is the body produces things called antibodies. Now, antibodies are important because what they do is they recognize antigens as being foreign. So if a protein gets into my body that doesn't belong to the body, well, it's going to be a flag that says, hey, I don't belong to you. The antibody will bind to it, agglutinate it, and target it to get rid of. This is actually what happens when pathogens enter the body. So microorganisms that shouldn't be there, they're covered in antigens that say, hey, I don't belong to you, and our antibodies recognize it. Now, when we look at blood types, what you're going to find is that different people have different types of antigens on the surface of their red blood cells. And there's actually a couple of different types. In actual fact, there is over 300 different types of antigens and possible combinations of antigens just on our red blood cells. But we're going to talk about the most important type clinically for blood transfusions. So the types of antigens you can get include the A antigen. It includes the B antigen. Both the A and the B antigen. And also something that has no antigen. And we actually write this as O. Now what we've just drawn up is actually blood types. The most important clinically relevant blood typing that you can think of is that of the ABO blood types. ABO. Now there's actually 33 different types of blood typing that you can have. ABO is the most important clinically for blood transfusions. Now in actual fact, what's happening is this. Somebody who has type A blood has the type A antigen. They've got a flag on their red blood cells that says I am A. That's the flag on its surface. And for those people who are type B, they've got a flag on their surface that says I am type B. For those who are AB, they're going to have both the A flag and the B flag, saying I am both the A antigen and the B antigen. And those who are type O, they don't have any flags at all, no antigens. Now remember I said that the body produces antibodies against antigens. Now it makes no sense for the body to create antibodies against antigens that they have, because it means the body will attack itself. So the body's going to create antibodies against antigens it doesn't have. So for example, if you are type A blood type, the antibodies that you will produce will not be antibodies against A because you're going to attack yourself and destroy yourself. You don't want that. So the types of antibodies you're going to produce are antibodies against the flags you don't have. The flags you don't have. What flags don't I have? Well, there's only one other flag possible, and that's the B flag. So they create B antibodies. And they're going to be floating through the bloodstream, B antibodies. Now, if you're blood type B, you're going to create A antibodies, obviously, because you don't want to create B antibodies. Otherwise, again, you will attack your own red blood cells and destroy your own red blood cells. You don't want that. So if you're blood type B, you create antibodies against A. If you're blood type AB, well, you don't want to create B antibodies because you'll attack yourself. You don't want to create A antibodies, you'll attack yourself. So you don't actually create any antibodies against any of the blood types. However, if you are blood type O, you don't have the A flag and you don't have the B flag. So you're going to create antibodies against both A antigen and B antigen. they're going to be circulating through your bloodstream. Now let's talk about what that means when it comes to transfusions. If you are blood type A, can you receive B blood type? So if this red blood cell, or let's just say trillions or billions of these red blood cells were then transfused into your body and your blood type A, this jumps in, well, it's got the B flag. Your B antibodies are going to attack and destroy it. You'll get very sick. So people with A blood type cannot take B blood, and vice versa, obviously. If somebody is blood type AB, can they take B blood? Yes, because there's no antibodies against B. So if you're blood type AB, you can take B blood. If you're blood type AB, you can also take A blood because there's no antibodies against it. AB is the universal acceptor of blood. Universal acceptor. Let's write this down. Universal acceptor. So, if you're blood type AB, lucky you, you can take everybody's blood. Can you take O blood if you're AB? Well, yes, because there's no flag on the red blood cell of O, because that means they can't target anything for attack. They target the flags. So that means if you are A, you can take O blood. If you're B, you can take O blood. If you're AB, you can take O blood. There's no flag to recognize. When you take the blood, you're not taking those antibodies. So don't think, well, I'm taking all of this. You're taking the red blood cells, okay? So that means O is the universal donor. So if you are of any blood type, you can take blood type O, universal donor. If you are blood type O, can you receive A blood type? No, because you have A antibodies. Can you receive B blood type? No, because you have B antibodies. Can you receive AB blood type? No, because you have both A and B antibodies that will attack the antigens. So O, unfortunately, can only take O. So there's actually another degree of complexity we need to add to this. This is rhesus factor. Rhesus factor, which is another antigen, it's actually a D antigen. This tells you whether you are A positive or A negative, B positive, B negative, AB positive or AB negative, or O positive and O negative. It's simple. If you have the rhesus factor, you are positive. If you don't have it, you're negative. So for example, if this A had the rhesus factor or the D flag on it, it now becomes A positive blood. Simple. If this B doesn't have it, it's B negative blood. If this AB has it, it's going to be AB positive blood. And again, if this O had it, it's going to be O positive blood. Now, what does this mean? It's the exact same thing, right? If you are A positive and you have the rhesus factor flag or antigen, you're not going to make rhesus factor antibodies. And what that means is you can accept blood type with rhesus factor and without. But if you are B negative and you don't have the rhesus flag, you're going to create rhesus antibodies. So that means if you are B negative, you can't take any blood that has positive, not even B positive blood, because B positive blood will have the flag on it, the rhesus antigen, and your antibodies will attack it and destroy it. So positive blood can take positive and negative blood can only take other negative blood types. And this is a quick run through of our blood types.